Hello and welcome back to Galactic Spirit. Today we're talking about something huge, money, but not just money. We're talking about the truth behind the entire financial system as revealed by the Galactic Confederation of Light. Have you ever felt like the world's financial system is unfair or artificial, like it's built to keep people trapped in stress, fear, and lack? Well, according to our star family, it was designed that way on purpose, but it's all coming to an end. In this video, we'll explain how the financial system was used as a tool of control, what's coming next, and how you can align with true abundance, no matter what's in your bank account. Let's dive in. But first, please like and subscribe if what you're hearing so far resonates with you. Galactic Spirit is on the up, but it's still early days. So any support you could give by sharing in your social pages or groups would be greatly appreciated. The Galactic Confederation tells us that one of the biggest lies in human history is this, that money equals safety. For thousands of years, the people in power, what some call the deep state, pushed this belief to keep us in fear and control. They made us think that our survival depends on paper bills, numbers on a screen, or shiny metal coins. But here's the truth. Real security comes from your connection to Source, the Creator, not from the money system. In one powerful part of the message, the Pleiadian being, Valier, explains how this financial illusion was used to trap us. When people tie their peace and safety to money, they become easy to control. That fear keeps us in a loop of working, worrying, and never feeling like we have enough. But that fear is based on a lie. Here's a short excerpt from the Galactic Confederation of Light.
One of the greatest illusions ingrained in human society is the belief that money is the source of safety and survival. For millennia, the controllers of your world have reinforced this belief to keep you in fear and dependency. The money system, devoid of spiritual consciousness, became the ultimate trap, a web designed to bind your attention to the material realm. Without the light of awareness, money was wielded as a tool of manipulation, creating an endless cycle of striving, scarcity, and concern. You have been taught to chase coins and digits, to measure your worth and security by them, all the while forgetting the true source of your life and well-being. We remind you now that true security can never be found in paper, metal, or numbers in a bank, for these are mere symbols. Until one abides in the presence of Prime Creator, until you anchor your consciousness in the divine source of all life, you will be led to believe that your safety lies in money. This is the grand deception that has been woven around the human mind. As long as a person's sense of safety is entangled with the material currency of the world, they remain susceptible to fear. The next paycheck, the fluctuating market, the economic news, all of it can unseat one's peace when money is seen as savior. This outer fixation is precisely how the deep state architects of control have held humanity captive in a frequency of lack. They manipulated the collective to forget that abundance is an inner state of connection with Source. Understand, dear ones, that the moment an individual draws their sense of security from the material world, they step out of alignment with the higher laws of spirit. Being governed by spiritual law means living in harmony with the divine principles of love, trust, and abundance. These laws assure you that you are an eternal being, supported unconditionally by Creator's grace. However, when you shift your trust away from Creator's presence and onto external things, such as money, possessions, or status, you remove yourself from that governing grace. You essentially tell the universe, I will handle my survival alone, and in doing so, you become subject to the turbulent ups and downs of the physical world. Consider how quickly material conditions can change. Banks can fail, markets can crash, jobs can be lost in a single turn of events. If your sense of safety is built solely on these changeable foundations, then your peace is always on shaky ground. Spiritual law, in contrast, is unwavering and eternal.
So how do we escape this trap? The answer isn't to fight the system with anger, it's to shift our mindset. The Confederation says that when we trust in the Creator and give from the heart, we start to live under spiritual law, not man-made control. They remind us that miracles happen when we live in faith, not fear. That's when synchronicities show up. Needs are met in unexpected ways, and peace replaces worry. This isn't just spiritual talk, it's a real shift in energy. And every person who wakes up to this truth helps break the system's hold. Now, here's something really interesting that the Confederation wants to highlight, that many of us feel disappointed that things aren't changing faster. But disappointment often means we're looking to get something instead of focusing on how we can give. They say when you show up with a spirit of service, disappointment fades. You're no longer waiting for the world to fix you. You're becoming part of the solution. And here's the amazing part. When you focus on giving your time, your care, your love, you actually receive more. It's like divine law of return. The more love you share, the more it flows back into your life. Now, I want to add something here and mention a previous video I posted, which was about Skywatcher's Jake Barber declaring that disclosure is happening in 12 months. This caused a strong emotional reaction in various discussion forums. The reaction was mostly skepticism, doubt, anger, and judgment. There were comments like, "It'll never happen," or "They're delusional," or "I'm tired of hearing the word soon." This is all understandable, but I just want to point out that Skywatcher is actually doing something tangible, something profound. They're actually creating something to further disclosure. They're doing something the government won't do. The UAP enthusiasts in the forums who cast stones are only hurting their own cause. That's not to say we should just accept anything that is presented to us. However, the emotional overreaction with harsh condemnation and judgment is only creating more division and separation. We should be encouraging and supporting each other. Then everyone benefits through the shared joy and passion of the topic, and then ultimately disclosure. So please listen to this excerpt from the Confederation as they explain much better than I can the dynamics of disappointment and giving versus getting. If more people were aware of this and their own emotional reactions, it would create a huge shift in consciousness. Let's have a listen.
Amid these changes, it is important to examine your own motivations and emotional reactions. Many awakening souls have found themselves feeling disappointed at times by the pace of change or by personal desires unfulfilled. We ask you to look deeply at the nature of disappointment. In truth, disappointment is a sign that one is showing up to life with the mindset of getting rather than giving. When you expect the external world to provide you with something, whether it be validation, reward, or a specific outcome, and it does not, the result is disappointment. This emotion can be a gentle teacher, illuminating where attachments still reside. The shift from getting to giving is a key part of your evolution now. To give does not mean to martyr yourself or neglect your own needs. Rather, it means approaching each moment asking, "How may I serve the unfolding divine plan? What can I contribute, instead of what can I take or gain?" When you show up to each day with a spirit of service and offering, you become aligned with Creator's grace. In this state, disappointment dissolves because you are not attached to what comes back to you. Ironically, it is in the giving mindset that you end up receiving the most. Joy, fulfillment, and often even the material support you need flows naturally. If you catch yourself feeling disappointed, perhaps the world is not changing as fast as you hoped, or your plans did not manifest as expected, pause and gently reflect. Ask yourself, was I focused on what I could get rather than what I could give in this situation? This honest inquiry is not to induce guilt, but to bring awareness. The moment you realign your perspective toward giving and serving, your energy lifts. You return to the flow of love, where every experience, even those that seem like setbacks, can be seen as part of the greater good. In Creator's plan, nothing is wasted. Every challenge invites you to deepen your compassion and strengthen your commitment to be a vessel of light. Let disappointment be transformed into a reminder to reconnect with your true purpose as a giver and a beacon of love. When you choose to be governed by Creator's grace, your life naturally becomes an offering of service. In surrendering to the divine flow, you find yourself guided to be in the right place at the right time, providing what is needed for the whole. Life under grace is not a life of lack or sacrifice. It is a life of miraculous provision and purpose. Remember the ancient story of a widow's oil as a living metaphor for this principle. In that tale, a woman gives her last bit of oil and flour to a prophet in faith and service, and in return, she finds that her small cruse of oil never runs dry, refilling itself by divine power. This story shows that when you live for something greater than yourself, when you pour out your love and service, the divine endlessly pours into you.
Now let's talk about the future. According to Valier, a new financial system is already forming, one that's digital, fair, and designed to share abundance with all. But here's the catch. Even this new system must not become our new false god. If we make it our source of safety or identity, we're just building another golden cage. The Confederation says this reset is meant to help us step into our true power, not give it away again. It's a tool for service, not for ego. So the real change won't just be outside of us. It must start inside, by remembering where true abundance comes from.
As the old control grid loses its grip, transformations are unfolding even within the money system itself. A new digital financial system is emerging on your planet, one meant to be more fair, transparent, and abundant for many. Some of you have already sensed whispers of this shift, signs of currency changes, and new systems promising to redistribute wealth. Indeed, a financial reset is underway as part of the divine plan to liberate humanity from lack. Many who have struggled or lived in scarcity may soon find themselves recipients of unexpected abundance in this new paradigm. We rejoice at the prospect of resources being freed for the highest good. Prosperity on a broad scale can become a tool for empowerment, allowing creative projects, healing endeavors, and compassionate innovations to flourish. However, dear ones, we must give a gentle warning. This new wealth, as wonderful as it is, must never become your foundation of security or identity. A golden cage is still a cage if one's heart clings to it for safety. The purpose of this influx of abundance is not to create a new form of material attachment, but to provide a platform from which higher service can spring. See any financial blessings that come your way as tools and opportunities, not as the source of your worth. Remember the lessons you have learned about true supply. Even in the face of overflowing riches, keep your faith anchored in the Creator, not in the digits of your bank account. If you base your sense of self on this material windfall, you risk reviving the old trap in a new form. But if you remain centered in spirit, you will use the wealth without being used by it.
In the final part of the message, Valier says that what once enslaved us, money, is now being reclaimed for good. As more people awaken and release fear, the old system loses power. The money energy itself is being purified. It becomes a river of light, ready to nourish the planet and support everyone, not just the few. But that change starts with us, by choosing trust over fear and service over greed. We break the spell. We stop feeding the matrix of lack and start building a new earth.
We want to make it clear that what once was used to enslave is now being used to set free. The global money system, which for so long was the linchpin of the deep state's control, is in the process of being reclaimed by the forces of light. This reclamation is both an external and internal process. Externally, enlightened hearts and minds within financial and political arenas are working to redirect the flow of wealth toward humanitarian ends and to dismantle corrupt frameworks. Internally, each soul that heals its relationship with money, releasing fear and embracing love, weakens the old grid energetically. As humanity collectively withdraws consent from the fear-based scarcity matrix, it loses its power. The control grid cannot hold when humanity no longer vibrates at the frequencies of guilt, unworthiness, and lack. By claiming your birthright of abundance and spiritual sovereignty, you withdraw the very fuel that once sustained the old paradigm. By reclaiming money as a tool for good, you help complete a long karmic lesson on Earth, ending ages of suffering caused by the misuse of power and wealth. Now, wealth returns to the hands of those who will use it as an expression of Creator's love. The energy of money itself is being purified, like a river that was once dammed and polluted, now flowing freely and clear. This river of light will nourish the collective soil, enabling communities to blossom, technologies of light to prosper, and every being's basic needs to be met. When money is no longer a weapon of division, but a bond of shared creation, the old illusion of separation diminishes. Every exchange made in this new consciousness declares that the era of manipulation is over, and the era of conscious co-creation has begun. Dear ones, the end of the deep state manipulation is not a distant dream. It is underway within you and around you. You are both witnesses to and participants in this great liberation. Feel the truth of these words in your heart. You are free to the extent that you claim your freedom in God's love. No outer authority can dominate a soul that bows only to the divine within.
So here's the big truth. You are not here to struggle. You are here to remember that you are already free. You don't need the old system to tell you who you are. Your soul knows you are supported by the Creator. And as more of us live from that truth, we become the new system, one based on love, fairness, and divine flow. The grand deception is falling. The real abundance is rising, and it begins with you. Thanks for watching Galactic Spirit. If this message spoke to you, give it a like, leave a comment, and share it with someone who is open to hear it. And remember, you are not alone. The Galactic Confederation walks beside us, guiding humanity back to truth. Until next time, shine bright, stay free, and trust the light within.